You probably had moments where you felt completely overwhelmed, quietly wondering if you were strong enough to keep going. But what if the very fact that you kept moving forward is proof of a hidden power within you? True mental toughness isn't about never feeling pain, nor is it about standing in a room and shouting your victories to the world. In reality, the deepest forms of human strength are often so quiet that you might completely overlook them in yourself. Society often conditions us to measure strength by external triumphs, promotions, perfection, or an unwavering facade of stoicism. But clinical psychology paints a very different picture of what real mental fortitude actually looks like. Today, we are diving into the human mind to reveal 8 subtle, science-backed signs that prove you are mentally stronger than you think. Let's look at the first sign, which begins with how you respond when your emotions threaten to overflow. Sign number 1. You allow yourself to feel difficult emotions without letting them drive your actions. Psychologists call this emotional regulation, the cognitive ability to pause in the space between an impulse and a reaction. When bad news hits or a plan suddenly fails, a fragile mind reacts immediately out of knee-jerk panic, defensiveness, or anger. But taking a moment to let the emotional storm pass before choosing your next move requires remarkable self-control. You aren't ignoring or suppressing your feelings. You are simply giving yourself permission to process them without letting them steer the ship. This ability to hold space for uncomfortable feelings is a foundational pillar of psychological endurance. When you master the gap between stimulus and response, you stop being a victim of your temporary mood swings. This brings us directly to how you navigate the moments when life completely upends your plans. Sign number 2. You are remarkably adaptable when your life plans fall apart. Rigidity creates fragility, but adaptability provides the elasticity needed to survive unexpected shocks. Think back to a time when everything went off the rails, a job loss, a broken relationship, or a sudden detour in your career. If your underlying instinct was to recalibrate and figure out a new path rather than stay frozen in bitterness, you are resilient. Neuroscientific studies on brain plasticity demonstrate that flexible thinkers recover significantly faster from acute stress and trauma. They don't waste energy wishing reality was different. They accept reality as it is and pivot forward. Pivoting doesn't mean you didn't care about your original dream. It means your determination is bigger than any single path. Closely tied to the psychological flexibility is how you speak to yourself when you fail. Sign number 3. You practice realistic self-compassion instead of destructive self-criticism. Millions of people mistakenly believe that tearing themselves down is the only reliable way to remain disciplined. But brain imaging shows that relentless self-punishment actually triggers the fight-or-flight system, paralyzing your motivation. Real mental strength isn't about being your own brutal drill sergeant. It's about being an encouraging, objective ally. If you can own a mistake, take full responsibility, and still treat yourself with basic human grace, your inner core is solid. Self-compassion provides the internal psychological safety required to take calculated risks and try again tomorrow. When you aren't terrified of your own internal self-judgment, failure loses its power to keep you hidden in your comfort zone. And that solid internal foundation allows you to establish clear, healthy boundaries with the external world. Sign number 4. You are comfortable saying no to demands that drain your mental energy. Chronic people-pleasing is a trauma response rooted in a deep fear of conflict, rejection, or abandonment. When someone lacks mental strength, they continuously sacrifice their own peace just to keep everyone around them comfortable. But saying no requires accepting the discomfort that others might be temporarily disappointed by your limits. If you can protect your personal time, energy, and priorities without carrying toxic guilt, your sense of worth is secure. You understand that honoring your boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary for long-term emotional survival. Every time you uphold a boundary, you send a quiet signal to your subconscious that your well-being genuinely matters. This quiet self-assurance completely transforms how you view the achievements of the people around you. Sign number 5. You feel genuine joy for other people's success instead of secretly feeling bitter or envious. Insecure minds view the world through a scarcity mindset, believing life is a high-stakes, zero-sum game. To a mind driven by comparison, another person winning feels like an explicit statement that they are losing ground. They treat life like a limited pie, convinced that someone else taking a large slice leaves less on the table for them. But when you operate from inner security, you realize that someone else's light doesn't dim your own in the slightest. Being able to celebrate others without feeling diminished proves you know your value isn't dependent on beating everyone else. You measure your journey against your past self, not against the highlighted achievements of strangers on a screen. That grounded perspective is also what allows you to handle constructive criticism without falling apart. Sign number 6. You actively seek out truth and constructive feedback, even when it stings your ego. Fragile egos construct elaborate cognitive defenses to shield themselves from any suggestion that they aren't perfect. When confronted with a mistake, weak minds react with instant defensiveness, making excuses or attacking the messenger. Mentally resilient individuals, however, view constructive feedback not as a character attack, but as valuable data. You understand that your identity is an evolving work in progress, and that finding where you were wrong is how you get better. It takes immense strength to put your pride aside in order to gain clarity and refine your skills. When you care more about getting things right than always being right, you accelerate your growth beyond the average person. This commitment to self-mastery is what gives you the patience needed to achieve meaningful, long-term goals. Sign number 7. You possess delayed gratification and can endure short-term discomfort for long-term vision. Modern culture is intentionally engineered to sell us instant relief, quick fixes, and immediate comfort. Endless swiping, instant notifications, and friction-free consumption have made deep patience an exceedingly rare superpower. Most people give up on their biggest ambitions the moment the initial wave of novelty and excitement wears off. But if you can keep showing up on the uninspiring, boring days when nobody is clapping for you, you are drawing on a well of discipline that very few people ever manage to cultivate. You recognize that anything truly meaningful, a master skill, a healthy body, a thriving career, takes sustained time to build. You willingly embrace temporary sacrifice because you trust the future you are building for yourself. This ability to trade immediate ease for future freedom is perhaps the single greatest predictor of lifelong success. Finally, look at how you behave when all external noise fades away and you are left completely alone. Sign number 8. You are comfortable sitting in stillness without needing constant digital distractions. For many in today's world, absolute silence feels uncomfortable because it forces them to confront their inner world. The moment a quiet gap occurs in the day, the involuntary reflex for most is to reach for a phone to numb the silence. When you begin to trust your ability to handle whatever comes, your relationship with fear changes entirely. Life stops feeling like a series of overwhelming threats and begins to feel like a space for growth and self-discovery. You realize that while you cannot control every external event, you have absolute authority over how you respond, and that internal agency is the ultimate form of personal power anyone can possess. So the next time life presents a sudden challenge and doubt creeps into your mind, take a deep breath and pause. Remind yourself of the quiet battles you've won that nobody else in the world will ever know about. Remind yourself that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is a quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Give yourself credit for how far you've come, even while you are still working on where you want to go. You are far tougher, far more adaptable, and mentally stronger than you give yourself credit for. Trust your foundation, honor your boundaries, and keep moving forward with quiet confidence. Growth is a continuous journey, and recognizing your internal strength is a first major step along the way. As you continue to cultivate these habits, you'll notice your inner calm deepening even further. Challenges won't disappear, but your capacity to carry them without losing your peace will expand significantly. You become the calm center inside life's inevitable storms. Take pride in your quiet resilience, and never underestimate the depth of your own character. Your story is still being written, and every act of quiet courage adds another powerful chapter. Share these insights with someone in your life who might need a gentle reminder of their own hidden strength today. Sometimes, knowing that someone else sees our effort is all the encouragement we need to keep going. If this video gave you a valuable perspective on your personal journey, please hit the like button to help others find it. Which of these 8 subtle signs of mental strength did you recognize most in yourself? Drop your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story could be the exact inspiration another viewer needs to read. We read every comment and deeply appreciate your contribution to this thoughtful community. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming breakdowns on human psychology and self-improvement. Thank you for taking the time to invest in your own mental growth with us today. Keep showing up for yourself, keep honoring your journey, and remember, you are always stronger than you think.